Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is arguably one of the most well-known stories ever told. The idea of a scientist creating life only to be horrified by his creation and have it wreak havoc has become a cultural touchstone. Even people who have never read the book or seen any of the many film adaptations know the basic story and some of the iconic imagery like the creature's stitched-up face. So, when legendary horror manga artist Junji Ito announced that he would be adapting the classic novel for a new 4-episode manga series, horror fans were understandably excited. But even if you're a huge fan of both Ito and the source material, it can be hard to justify buying 4 separate tankobon volumes just to read a story you already know. So, does Ito's Frankenstein improve on the original, or is it just another unnecessary retelling? Well, if you've been following for a while, then you know that we've already covered this series in a previous video. But, in case you missed it, or just need a refresher before diving into the source material, here's our video on Junji Ito's Frankenstein. The first thing you should know about Ito's adaptation is that it's not a straightforward retelling of the original novel. Like many adaptations, there are some key differences. For one, the story is split between 2 timelines. The first follows Victor Frankenstein in his creation of a monster from various body parts. This half of the story plays out almost exactly as it does in the original novel, right down to the creature escaping and holding a mirror up to Victor's face to show him the horrible thing he has made. The second half of the story shifts the focus to a young woman named Elizabeth, who becomes obsessed with finding the monster after her little brother William is killed. While searching for answers, she meets a man named Henry, who becomes her close friend and eventually lover. Henry is an original character who is implied to be the monster based on some very telling details. For one, he lives deep in the woods in a small cabin. He is incredibly strong and seems to have little understanding or control over human emotions. And finally, he is disgusted by his own reflection in a pond, covering up with leaves and warning Elizabeth not to look too closely. Of course, Elizabeth doesn't listen and is ultimately killed by the creature, which is revealed through flashbacks to have a more intimate connection to Victor than Elizabeth realizes at the time. In the end, Ito's Frankenstein is a tragedy on a much larger scale than Shelley's original. Victor's hubris is punished alongside his creation's rage, resulting in the deaths of nearly everyone they know and love. While the story isn't groundbreaking, what makes Ito's Frankenstein worth reading is his incredible art. Ito is widely known for his horror manga such as Uzumaki and You, which contain some truly nightmarish imagery. And he brings that same level of body horror and psychological dread to his adaptation of Frankenstein. Some of the standout panels come from the creature's first moments of life, which are rendered in black, and white with thick, uneven lines that make the creature appear monstrous and deformed. These stark visuals emphasize the creature's alienation from humanity, which is a major theme in both the manga and the original novel. Ito also makes great use of perspective to create a sense of unease and claustrophobia. In one scene, Victor is walking through a crowded marketplace when he sees a group of beggars huddled together. He stops to take a closer look, but their hunched figures and tattered clothing make them appear monstrous. The reader is forced to confront these beggars from Victor's point of view, which heightens our own sense of unease and foreshadows Victor's future encounters with the creature. Overall, Ito's art is both a strength and a weakness of this adaptation. His distinctive style is sure to please horror fans, but those unfamiliar with Ito's work may be put off by the grotesque imagery and dark themes. Despite being a classic story, Frankenstein still resonates with modern audiences, because at its core, it's a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked ambition and the consequences of playing God. Ito's adaptation captures this perfectly, and his masterful art elevates the story to a whole new level. In an interview about Frankenstein, Ito said, quote, "I think there's something scary about the idea of a human being able to create life and then not knowing what to do with it." End quote. This ties directly to a fear many people have about science and technology today. As we become more capable of manipulating life itself, we also have to confront the ethical implications of our actions and the potential consequences of crossing certain lines. Frankenstein has always been a story about humanity's relationship with technology, and Ito's adaptation serves as a chilling reminder of the importance of this timeless tale. If you like what we're doing here and want to support our channel, consider becoming a member. It's a great way to help us produce more videos like this one and get cool perks like exclusive content and early access.